to talk about intuition. Maybe you've heard it as like a gut feeling, something that you just know to be true, even if you don't actually have the information or words to be able to explain why you know it's true. Welcome back to the Idea Supply Chain, where we take a look at where ideas come from and what makes them valuable. So, I've been thinking a lot about intuition lately. It's come up both for me personally and in conversations with people online. So, from a personal angle, I've been having this feeling that I need to be out in San Francisco next week. There's things happening and it was a possibility and then it went away. But I still felt I need to be out there. There's something calling to me from there. Don't necessarily know what it is. Okay, so what do you do? Let's give a little more detail. Got fired a few weeks ago. Money's tighter. I'm in the process of getting things set up, but haven't started drawing in revenue yet. At what point does this potential trip become too risky to carry out? And that's a tough question. It's something I wrestled with. But on the flip side, somebody posted a question on Twitter asking about a quote that they were thinking about including. And it was a question that this person was asked about what uncommon belief do they have that most people don't hold. And their whole thing was that their big idea that most people don't hold is that intuition, that gut feeling, is actually a better source of information than kind of the data-driven stuff we see in society today. Is that true? That's what the person was asking about on Twitter. She's trying to figure out, is this something I want to actually share as part of this? Do other people similarly feel that that's not something that is commonly held? And so I chimed in and I said, yeah, honestly, I do think this is a very uncommon belief currently. We have access to so much data. It's always easy to find the data that supports the thing that we want to believe. And so people do that. It's a lot harder to trust a gut feeling that you don't actually have data for. But my personal belief is that the gut is actually able to process and understand a much wider array of information from the world around us than we realize. The body is a very complex thing, and we've gotten to a state where we focus a lot on what's going on in our heads. We have the ideas of intelligence, and you've got to learn. It's a knowledge-based economy now. There's all sorts of things going on where it's about what's happening up in your head, not down in your gut. And yet, what do you do if you feel something is true and you don't actually have any data to back it up? Well, here's what I did. Booked a flight to San Francisco. Not only that, I then booked the following week down to Florida. Need some relaxation time. Got to get some things done. But here's the thing. Just because I feel like there's something hugely vital that I've got to be in San Francisco for, I don't know what that is. I didn't stop at the booking. So, yes, you could trust your gut, but that doesn't mean to solely rely on it. And so one of the things I wanted to do was really make sure that I make this trip as maximally impactful as possible. And if you saw one of my previous videos about being a bit introverted and going to a conference and not being able to talk to people, okay, I don't want that sort of situation to happen again. I need to make sure I'm putting myself out into the world and putting myself in a place for these valuable things to happen that I think can happen. So what did I do? I started putting the word out that I'm going to be in San Francisco. Started talking to people. Hey, who should I talk to? Started thinking about who I knew who might be in San Francisco that I want to chat with. And I started setting things up. I've got talks with investors, founders. I've got an invitation to a thought leadership thing. I'm joining a hackathon. I'm putting myself in a position for serendipity to find me. And that is something I think that you can do a lot with when it comes to trusting your gut, following your instincts. Like, yeah, follow your instincts, but then double down and make sure that your instincts are right. Don't follow your gut and then sit back and say, okay, universe, you do your thing. Because then you're probably not going to have great results. But if you follow it up with this idea that I think it's going to be something big for me, and I'm going to ensure that no matter what it is, then all of a sudden you can't lose. Now, if I flip this, if I focused on the data, I said, okay, well, I feel like I should be going to San Francisco, but I don't have any data that proves to me that I need to go there. So I'm just not going to go. Well, then it definitely doesn't happen. There's no opportunity for it to happen. And I don't put any work into making it happen. The mere assumption that it wasn't possible made it not possible. Whereas assuming that it was possible, trusting my gut instinct, then gave me the agency to make sure that was a reality. And this is something that people miss. Trust your gut and take the action. It can't just be either or. If you take action, it's not in alignment with like what your gut feeling is, it's going to feel wrong. You're not going to want to do it. If you can't back your gut up with data and you just don't do anything, nothing's going to happen. There's so much that's possible in the world, but it requires you to take action. Above and beyond, figure out how to put yourself in the places that make it possible for you to succeed. I live in a small town, middle of nowhere, not exactly a tech scene. Not stopping me from doing what I want to do. I'm going out into the world and I'm making shit happen. That's it. And you know what? This has been the most goddamn fun week of my life, preparing for this trip, setting things up. I feel like a different person because I trusted my gut and I doubled down to make sure it was reality. And that's where the power of intuition can be so incredibly powerful. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.